The U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement carried out immigration enforcement actions that drew widespread public attention. These efforts, widely reported on social media and news outlets, included large-scale operations. One notable social media post on X described an ICE operation as ICE's massive operation blocks highway, deports immigrants in droves. This article analyzes ICE's activities in July 2025, providing data, context, and public reactions while maintaining a neutral perspective for American readers to better understand the issue. After President Donald Trump's second term began in January 2025, his administration vowed to launch what it called the largest domestic deportation operation in U.S. history. A series of executive orders strengthened immigration enforcement. These orders expanded ICE's authority, removed restrictions on arrests in sensitive locations like churches and schools, and sped up deportations. A key policy change allowed the use of the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to support deportations and permitted sending immigrants to third countries, not their home nations. According to the Department of Homeland Security, ICE significantly increased arrests between January 20th and June 11th, 2025, more than doubling the number compared to the same period the previous year. Since May 20th, ICE has averaged nearly 1,000 arrests per day, up from about 600 daily arrests earlier. Congress also allocated nearly $170 billion in July 2025 for border security and immigration enforcement. This funding aimed to hire 20,000 additional immigration officers and double the number of beds in detention centers. Some X posts in July 2025 described an ICE operation as blocking highways to deport masses of immigrants. For example, users like Jerry K2241809 and Charlene Muniz 8 referenced a video by YouTuber Cash Jordan. The video discussed immigration enforcement involving traffic checkpoints, comparing pursuits of undocumented immigrants to tactics used against professional car thieves. It highlighted the involvement of Texas State Police and Border Patrol. While headlines like ICE blocks highway, deports entire caravans may sound exaggerated, credible sources like The Washington Post and NBC News confirmed ICE intensified operations, including traffic checkpoints and workplace raids. On July 3, 2025, The Washington Post reported ICE made over 2,000 arrests in a single day, far above the average of 660 daily arrests during the first 100 days of the Trump administration. These operations often involved coordination with the FBI, U.S. Marshals, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives, and the Drug Enforcement Administration. A controversial aspect of ICE's July 2025 operations was deporting immigrants to third countries, not their countries of origin. A July 9th memo from Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons, cited by Reuters and The Washington Post, stated ICE could deport immigrants to other nations with just 6 hours' notice in emergency situations. If the U.S. State Department received assurances that deportees wouldn't face mistreatment or torture, ICE could deport them without prior notice. Otherwise, ICE had to provide at least 24 hours' notice and a chance to contact a lawyer. This policy faced criticism from immigration advocacy groups, like the National Immigration Litigation Alliance, which argued it violated international law, including the Convention Against Torture, ratified by the U.S. Congress in 1994. For instance, immigrants from Cuba, Laos, Mexico, Myanmar, Sudan, and Vietnam were deported to South Sudan, a country facing internal conflict and deemed unsafe. In another case, a Guatemalan immigrant deported to Mexico reported being kidnapped and abused. Beyond traffic checkpoints, ICE conducted workplace raids targeting small businesses like auto repair shops and food processing plants. In June 2025, The Washington Post reported a raid on an auto repair shop near Philadelphia, where all 3 employees were detained, and one was deported to Guatemala. These raids disrupted small businesses, with some owners noting that local communities avoided their establishments out of fear of ICE targeting. ICE data and the Washington Post reported that on June 3rd, ICE made 2,368 arrests, and on June 4th, 2,567 arrests, significant spikes from prior averages. Between May 19th and May 30th, ICE deported 142 immigrants from Houston, Texas, to Mexico, including 8 gang members and 11 individuals convicted of crimes involving children. In a Florida operation called Operation Tidal Wave from June 9th to 15, ICE arrested 1,120 undocumented immigrants, including 378 with final deportation orders and many convicted of crimes like drug trafficking, assault, and fraud. However, data also showed that about 72% of those detained by ICE during this period had no criminal convictions, raising concerns about targeting non-criminal immigrants. This contradicted the administration's claim of focusing on the worst criminals. X posts reflected deep public division over ICE's actions. Some users expressed strong support. For example, GAMTN chief wrote, "It's time to arrest any protesters obstructing or attacking our officers doing exactly what we voted for." User ItsDigiNFT shared Cash Jordan's video, calling ICE's efforts a move to clean up an immigrant suburb. Conversely, activists and immigration advocacy groups condemned the operations, saying they spread fear and tore families apart. Protests erupted in cities like Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, and Atlanta, with reports of clashes between protesters and police. In Los Angeles, 67 protesters were arrested the weekend of June 8th for refusing to disperse on Highway 101. Organizations like the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights and the Immigrant Solidarity Network set up hotlines to assist detainees. In Los Angeles, lawyers and families struggled to get information about those detained in workplace raids. Mayor Karen Bass imposed a curfew on June 10th to address unrest tied to anti-ICE protests. Sanctuary cities like Chicago emphasized that local police wouldn't cooperate with ICE. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker supported deporting those convicted of violent crimes but opposed targeting law-abiding immigrants. Many ICE policies faced legal challenges. In June 2025, the U.S. Supreme Court lifted a lower court's ban on deportations to third countries without screening for risks of mistreatment. However, groups like the National Immigration Litigation Alliance argued this violated international law. In one case, a deportation flight to South Sudan was halted by a Massachusetts district court, leaving 11 ICE officers and 8 immigrants stranded in a shipping container in Djibouti under harsh conditions. ICE's operations sparked widespread fear in immigrant communities. In Lake Worth Beach, Florida, just 10 miles from Trump's Mar-a-Lago, residents reported staying discreet to avoid ICE's attention. The Guatemalan Maya Community Center noted a sharp drop in participation in services like food banks and Know Your Rights classes. A Guatemalan resident, Christian Alvarado, said he was detained during a traffic stop despite having a valid work permit. Families were also deeply affected. For example, a 12-year-old boy named Amilcar in Lake Worth Beach was left behind when his father was deported, requiring community organizations to step in for his care. ICE's July 2025 operations reflect the Trump administration's push to fulfill campaign promises on immigration enforcement. Data shows a significant increase in arrests and deportations, supported by other federal agencies and substantial congressional funding. However, targeting non-criminal immigrants and deporting them to third countries has sparked debates over humanity and legality. While the administration claims to focus on dangerous criminals, data suggests most detainees lack criminal records, raising concerns about impacts on immigrant communities and local economies, especially small businesses reliant on immigrant labor. Protests and legal challenges highlight public division, with some supporting strict enforcement and others advocating for human rights. ICE's July 2025 campaign marks a period of intensified immigration enforcement under the Trump administration, involving traffic checkpoints, workplace raids, and third-country deportations. While achieving significant arrests and deportations, these efforts have stirred controversy, heightened fear in immigrant communities, and triggered nationwide protests. The data and public reactions reveal a complex issue, balancing national security and human rights. Readers are encouraged to consider both the need for immigration enforcement and its humanitarian impact on individuals and families. Credible news sources and ex-posts offer deeper insight into how these campaigns are perceived in American society in 2025. This article has utilized reliable sources and perspectives from social media to provide a comprehensive view. For a deeper understanding, readers can refer to statements from DHS, CBP, or reports from Reuters, The Guardian, and WOLA.
So he was just working on his car.
Okay.
His radiator overheated.
Okay.
When his legal status was questioned, he took off.
Come on out. Get out here. Investigate, see what's going on. Little friendly competition right here.
Right.
See if you can get it unlocked faster.
You had like a 5-minute start, bro. All right, we can make it a race. You let me get my kid out. We'll both go at the same time.
Call for BP. How many are they?
Yeah, don't let him have his way.
I'm outnumbered. This isn't a fair race.
¿De dónde son ustedes? ¿De dónde son?
Can you hit the automatic? It's right here in front of the... Oh, for me.
My time. It's like there it is. Got it.
Dice que me lo han retrasado.
And now the next guy, he does have criminal history. He's a repeat DUI. Keep it in mind, both these guys are probably military.
He's going to be pulling out and heading toward. All right, copy that. And just to confirm, we're going to let him drive down the block, correct? That's a 4.
Okay.
Right now we're just gonna see if we can help this young lady unlock her car. It looks like she locked her keys in there, so.
like I said, we're gonna go ahead and take you somewhere else. We're gonna put you in a little bit more comfortable situation. All four.
My time, just like
There it is. Got it.